Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
We're starting out second from the bottom. Captain John Regan, I just want you to know that there's only one guy. His name is Vince Coakley. Whoever Vince Coakley is, we really appreciate it, because if it wasn't for you, we'd be on the bottom. You know, when I was a government employee, you know, the states used to rank. They'd be ranked by performance in certain criteria, and people would say, "Thank God for Mississippi," because if it weren't for Mississippi, we'd be last, and we'd be in last place. And you know, so thank you, Vince Coakley, because whoever you are, if it weren't for you, we'd be in last place on TalkStream Live. Everyone all set. Cocked, locked. Oh man, gee. Dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com, and we're delighted you're here. It looks like we have one listener. Oh boy, so. We're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, and if you'd like to call in, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. There's a link to your instructors on the website, usaprepares.com, and converging threats are confronted daily by your instructors. I'm Vincent Finelli. Trevor's engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Captain John Regan's with us. John Regan, it's always great to be with you.
Yeah, it's time for those three magic words. Good morning, Vincent.
You would think that I overdosed right on bliss.
It sounds like it.
Well, you know, I just look at things, and it's just amazing to me. You know, some of the statistics that I see, and you know, I know they're absolutely not true. So if we managed our lives by statistics, we'd make a lot of mistakes. By the way, if you look at how the government manages things and what they tell us, it's based on opinion polls. Now, you would think that, or what they say, the opinion polls say. But if you look at what they do the exact opposite, don't they? They do exactly the opposite of what we, the people, would like. As a matter of fact, John Regan, I was thinking this morning before the broadcast about the number of people who I meet, you know, just by coincidence. Like if I go to a gas station, I'll strike up a conversation with the guy at the next pump, or if I'm in line at the cashier, you know, at the conveyor belt, I'll strike up a conversation. Do you know, I haven't met a single person in months that thinks that things are going the right direction. Not one person. No matter where I go, nobody I have met thinks that things are just great. Nobody. Has that happened in your life too?
Well, I don't get out much, so it's hard to say exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it seems like there's the people out there that you know, live in fantasy worlds that just wandering around like things are, somewhat normal. And then it seems like there's everybody else that, they might not understand it, but they, things aren't right. They're not quite working the way they're supposed to. And I guess that's pretty much what you're alluding to.
Yeah, that's what I'm alluding to. And on that note, and by the way, I just checked GCN Live. We're number one on GCN Live. Number one at this moment. And we are at the next to last on TalkStream Live. I was thinking about materials that I would recommend that our class consider buying or getting for free. If you go to garage sales, and if you go to the library, you can buy books very inexpensively. And I was looking at the bookshelf today and last night and over the last few weeks, and I have purchased over the years cases of books for like $5, $10, $15 for a case of books. And I've purchased books like how-to type encyclopedia. For example, they used to sell them back in the 1960s, how to fix things, how things work, science encyclopedias, for like 59 cents per volume. So you'd go to the supermarket, and if you spent $10, you could buy for 59 cents one volume, volume 1. Actually, I think volume 1 was free. And then volume 2 would be 59 cents. And then volume 3, 4, 5, all the way up to maybe volume 30 would be 59 cents per week. And so a lot of people bought them and put them on the shelf and didn't even open them. Well, you can buy them for $5 and $10 for the entire set. Sometimes they're even free. So my suggestion to you is that you consider spending that $5 or $10 or getting them free, because should the grid go down and you want to know how things actually work, if you don't know how they work already, you'll have that whole set of encyclopedia that will show you in pictures and describe in words the overview of how things work. And then you can get that handyman type encyclopedia that will teach you how to fix things, how to build bookcases, how faucets work, how to replace washers in faucets, how to replace the cartridges, in the faucets so they don't drip, how hot water heaters work, how heating systems work, how motors work. So for just a few dollars, you can buy, a case of these books. And I suggest that you do that pronto. In England, when fuel was so high a couple of years ago, people were burning books for fuel, for heat. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I saw Linus Ertley last night. He came to the meetup at Jimmy's Egg. And he was out on the East Coast as an insurance adjuster. And he told us stories about how people in New York during Hurricane Sandy, they were cold, and they were burning their furniture in their backyard to stay warm. And that's what people do when they're desperate. So as we see more and more of these encyclopedia sets going into the landfills and being burned and discarded, you might want to get a set while they're still very, very inexpensive. John, what do you think?
Absolutely. Of course, you might confuse young people. They won't know where to find the screen.
Yeah. And that's another thing. John, they're talking about damage to one's eyes from reading these tiny screens, like iPhone screens, like other cell phone screens. We're up close. They're really bright. They don't appear to be bright because, we're getting used to them. And they're damaging our eyes. So that's another thing. And I'll talk to Norm Shealy about that tomorrow. But I've talked to Mrs. Finelli, and it's absolutely clear we're dumping the iPhone. I am just so excited about it. And we've talked about that. We may get in the car and we travel, and what if there's an emergency? Well, what did we used to do in an emergency? Didn't we just knock on somebody's door, or didn't we just raise the hood, and didn't the police come and help us? I mean, isn't that what they used to do?
Yeah, that's what you need, is the police to come and help you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So I make sure our vehicles, tires are good, tire pressure is good, fluids are all topped off, oil's changed, all those things all the routine maintenance, fittings greased, all the things that we should do. I make sure that we do so we have the minimum amount of breakdowns. Ed Marvini called me yesterday. He's a USA Prepares instructor. He's our webmaster, and he built the website for us. And he decided that there was a conflict in our e-commerce portion of the website. So he redid the website and didn't even tell me, just fixed it. And so it looks like it used to look, but it's actually a hybrid kind of a look. It has links and it has e-commerce. So I'm going to put the ProPure water filtration systems on the website. I'm going to put the books that our authors would like us to get out there to you on the website. And we'll have some of the other products that USA Prepares offers at the lowest prices in the country. So that's coming. And I'm working on that this afternoon. So, John, we were talking about, before the broadcast, we were talking about what Dr. Richard Allen Miller is going to talk about on Thursday. And we talked about that last night at the meetup. And, what are your thoughts on that? Because this is a huge risk for USA Prepares, talking about this.
Well, from the way I see it, there's only one or two ways that this ends up. Either what he's been called up into is real, or it is a pretty elaborate government psyop, which would be directed at USA Prepares. And I don't see much middle ground in there.
Mm-hmm. And so what we're talking about is Dr. Richard Allen Miller saying on air and at the expo and at a meetup, and when he was here a week ago, that there's a possibility that we could have a rapid onset ice age, and that the temperature could drop 10 degrees in minutes, kind of like the day after tomorrow. And there's a lot of concern about that because how do you prepare for it? And is it real? Actually, we don't know at this point. We don't know if it's real. And do we know the timetable? Rick believes he has a handle on the timetable. So on Thursday, Dr. Richard Allen Miller is going to tell us what he thinks could happen. And I'm going to ask the hard questions. By now you know that usaprepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Mike Stenerson from Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
Have you ever noticed how many sick and miserable people there are? I'm serious. I'm talking about people of all ages who have conditions and diseases which affect their quality of life. Most of them seem to have one thing in common: polypharmacy. That is, dependence on multiple prescription drugs with side effects that actually make them sicker and sicker, not healthy. The good news is that people are waking up to the fact that if you supply your body with all of the nutrients it requires, you will feel better, be healthier, and have a better life. It's important to know that Beyond Tangy Tangerine is the most amazing, great tasting, comprehensive nutritional supplement. Besides supplying all the vitamins our bodies need, it also supplies the necessary minerals that are required for the vitamins to kick in. Look, folks, I'm hooked on it, and I think if you try it, you'll become hooked. This stuff really works. That's why I'm urging you to make it part of your daily health regimen. Visit InfoWarsTeam.com to secure your canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine today. Sign up for auto ship and save on shipping costs. That's Beyond Tangy Tangerine at InfoWarsTeam.com.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
You know, class, I want to share an inside story with you. During the break, our engineer Trevor said to me, what microphone are you using? Now, our engineer is so attuned to the sound of the signal that he knew which brand of microphone that I was using, and he had it within one model. Then they have an older model and a newer model, and he had it. He nailed it, absolutely nailed it. And he's never seen a picture of me with this microphone. And by the way, it's an Electro Voice RE320 Electro Voice. So if you're wondering what microphone I use, that's it. And he nailed it. He thought I had an RE20, and I have the newer version of that, but it's less expensive than the older version. And I listened to him, and I thought that this is the microphone that I wanted to use for this particular broadcast. So that is the quality of engineering that we have going on right here at GCN. Just want to let you know. John Regan, let's talk about the financial state of the union. I'm at thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, and I clicked on the news tab. Where shall we start today?
Well, we didn't get to it yesterday, so today we get to your favorite subject, spy tech.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
First up is the link I've entitled Taking Flight.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a paralyzed woman that they've connected her up by computer so she can do things like fly fighter jet. Of course, that's on the computer. She can move a robot arm to eat chocolate or give high fives, all that with her mind. And I got to thinking, because there was also another article that came out about this same time about how the Air Force is having a hard time getting enough drone pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really just flying another computer with your mind. You don't have to have arms to fly a drone. So why couldn't they take somebody like this, fly the drone? And there's still another component. One of the reasons that they're having problems keeping the pilots is because when you're out there killing people, it affects you. And that stress, even though you're not there in the battlefield, or maybe even more so because you're not there, you get to a point where you have to make a decision. How do you live your life?
Mm-hmm.
And I can even imagine them making these drone images set up so that they look more like video games, so that people would just play the video game and not know that they're actually, blasting the heck out of people.
Yep. John, we've got Rachel in Missouri. Rachel, welcome to USAPrepares.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to call and thank you and Mrs. Finelli. And this was my first expo, and it rocks. It was so awesome. We're still talking about it and thinking about it and looking forward to the next one.
Rachel, I got to tell you, I don't know if there's going to be a next one, because, it is so difficult. Let me just share something with you. The first two expos we had were in Springfield, Missouri,
mm-hmm.
and the expo hall said, "Okay, after expo number 1, if you do another one here, we'll give you a 10% discount on the fees." And I said, "Okay, that sounds good." So we did the next one there, and they did not honor their commitment. So I'm kind of an odd guy. Someone is dishonest. We don't work with them anymore.
Right.
So I went to the next location, which was the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. And they didn't like us. They didn't like the fact that I would not use their concession stand and sell their hot dogs for $4.50 and Cokes for $2.50 and $3.50. They didn't like that. So they shut the internet off, the Wi-Fi, which was a commerce problem. I was doing a live teleseminar with James Wesley Rawles and some others, and I got disconnected, and the merchants had trouble, selling their things on the internet, using the internet to connect to their e-commerce sites. It was a huge problem. I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we come back. Can you stay with us, Rachel?
Sure.
Yeah, stay with us, and then I'll tell you the rest of the story. And then I'd like to hear from you what you liked about the expo. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective, and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins. But did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your products and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. Bidbit.co.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Rachel is with us, and Captain John Regan. Rachel from Missouri. Rachel, so as I was saying, Expo number 1 was in downtown Springfield, and we were promised a 10% reduction in charges if we had Expo number 2 there. We did, and they denied the 10% discount that they promised us. So we moved on to the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds, and we had a couple expos there, and what they did, we didn't want to use the concession stand. Now, here's how this works. At these city-owned properties and county-owned properties, they contract out the concession stand. So the people who run the concession stand pay the city money, and they also sell drinks at very high prices and food at very high prices, like nachos for $4.50 that you can make for yourself for 50 cents, right? So really high profit items. Well, we decided, early on, we didn't want that. We did not want to charge $5 for a ticket for the expo and then have them have the concession stand rip off our guests. So we had to actually pay the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds for their people not to show up. Can you imagine that? Okay. So we paid them, I think it was $150 or $175 for them not to show up. So what they did was they wouldn't let us use the refrigerator. They wouldn't let us use the water. Literally, we couldn't wash in the sink. And we brought in Ziggy's to, as a caterer to offer a drink, potato chips, and a sandwich for $5, a chicken sandwich. It was great. It was great food. Well, they decided that they were so angry with us for offering our own food, they called the health department on us. So the city property, the city property called the city health department on us. They also called the police on us. And after a while, they shut the internet off. And I said, we can't go back there. So we went on to Lebanon. And people would say to me, Vinny, why aren't you having the expo in Springfield? Well, now you know. Also, there's a 30% tax. 30% of the cost of the expo we have to pay in tax to the city of Springfield, which is insanity. So we went to Lebanon, and they don't have that high tax. And this time, the police were so angry that we consecrated one cop was so angry that we consecrated the ground as sacred Native American ground that he called the city manager. So the city manager responded by sending the fire department, 2 fire engines, lights and sirens came with one of these black fire engines, scared people away from the expo. They brought the K-9 team, they brought the county police, the city police, the fire department, and we said, really? Is this how you attract customers? So now they've declared war on USA Prepares. So when you say, you're looking forward to the next expo, I am too, but we're going to have to find a private location. Seriously. Mm-hmm. We have learned everything we need to learn about city governments and county governments. They're interested in revenue. They're interested in control, and they don't like it when you say you don't want the cops there. Now, when we had the cops at in Springfield, things worked a little smoother. Okay, they did. They worked smoother because you were paying their people to be there. And here's how it is. They price fix it. If you want to contract with or hire an off-duty cop to be at the door, you can. Mm-hmm. But in Springfield, you can't just go find, Joe Doak's cop and say, hey, listen, if you're not on duty on Saturday and Sunday, can we hire you? No, you have to go through the city of Springfield. They have a special department that's set up to price fix how much you pay the cops. So you can't even negotiate it. It's $25 an hour. Yep, $25 an hour to hire an off-duty cop. So that's the underbelly, the part of the expo business that very, very, very few people know about. But I'd like to know from you, and if any of our class has a location where we can have this event, where it's not controlled by a city or county government, I'm all ears. I'm really interested. So, Rachel, what was it about the expo that you liked?
So many things, but the most thing is the people. I feel like I have 15 new best friends. It was just, I felt, I don't know, they were wonderful. I met so many neat new people when I was there, usually instructors and so on.
Well, did you go to any of the banquet meals?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. I went to the first night when they introduced themselves.
What was your reaction? It took 3 hours for us to introduce ourselves, right?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
And were you kind of amused at learning who USA Prepares is in the flesh for the first time? I mean, actually getting to see like John Regan and Mike Ma and Dr. Howard Shayne and Norm Shealy and Richard Allen Miller and Matt Stein, and the list goes on, and Ed Marvini.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I chased John Regan down, actually, because when they first get up there, if you're not paying real close attention, you miss, are they having class? Are they an exhibitor? What they're doing. So after you hear them speak, I missed their name. So I actually chased John Regan down. I said, I'm sorry, what was your name again? And then I found myself taking notes. But yeah, that's the first time I met all of them, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Mike Ma rolling around on the ground and stuff. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Mike Ma has shot me multiple times, and I've shot him multiple times in gunfights, where we actually use real guns and wax bullets. And I'll tell you, Mike Ma is real. He's absolutely real. And the first time he stayed at the farm, I hadn't met him. He called me up and he said he was from Guatemala and he wanted to come to the expo. And I said, well, sure. And then, we talked. I had him on the air and I said, why don't you stay at the farm? And I'll tell you, that night I slept with one eye open.
Oh, I bet. I'm reading his books right now. I bet you did.
Yeah. Mike Ma gets in more trouble. He really gets in a lot of trouble. And it's not like he's looking for trouble. It just seems to find him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to seek him out for some reason. But yeah, very fascinating guy. Lots to learn from him. Lots to learn from everyone. I don't want to leave anyone out, but there were so many. And then so many I didn't get to see because you can't be in two classes at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I got a call from a guy yesterday who is putting on a preparedness expo in Virginia. And he was talking with someone who literally brought 5 other people with him. Literally. So there were 6 of them, and they separated and they didn't see each other, all day. And each one went to a different seminar at the same time, because we had a minimum of 6 and as many as 7 seminars going off at one time. So I made the claim to many people off air that this would be one of your life's 10 most memorable events. How would you react to that comment?
It was very memorable. I've had kind of a crazy life, but yeah, it was absolutely very memorable. And there were 6 of us there too, and we would debrief each night in the hotel room, and you'd kind of, how you said, take it each class at one time and go over it. And in fact, we had another meeting this past Saturday night about it. We just are still stuck on it. So very, very memorable.
And what are some of the takeaway lessons that you learned? What information was very valuable to you that you're going to act upon?
Oh my gosh! First of all, I found out how far behind I am, so I have a long way to go in seeking more information and purchasing things. And I'm not sure. I've catch up with some more contacts with Norman Shealy and carry on information and things from there as well.
Yeah, Dr. Norman Shealy is absolutely brilliant. As a matter of fact, the medical profession was so upset with him that they published his obituary in the newspaper.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that was a warning. That was a warning to Norm Shealy to back off, knock it off.
Yep.
So Norm Shealy does not do as he's told. He does as he believes. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, brilliant man. He'll be on with us tomorrow. He's on with us every Wednesday, except when he's giving a training session or he's teaching somewhere. Other than that, he's on every Wednesday. Are you concerned about the financial collapse?
Absolutely.
How about electromagnetic pulses?
That's a little out of my league right now.
How about water? The coming water
big concern.
crisis.
And that's what we focused on. I have to say that we could have left with a bunch of these, but we focused on water with the ProPure and the water distiller, and how much water we need per person, plus animals in our house. We're starting with the basics, but that's where my family and I are starting, and that's the biggest thing I probably walked away with this time, knowing that I have so much further to go.
John Regan?
And that's how you do it, is you prioritize, and water's up there. Then comes your food, especially being able to raise it yourself.
Yes. Yep.
And Rachel, do you live on a farm?
I wish. No. I have access to one, but it's far, far away. Yeah, I would love to live on a farm.
Let me ask you, is there a way that you and your family can pool your resources and buy a farm?
We touched base on that real briefly right after the expo, and I know that we're going to get back to that because we had actually talked about that.
Okay, and the reason I say that is I didn't do this all by myself. I mean, I didn't, our farming is not something that one guy does. It's a guy and his wife, and maybe his parents, and maybe his children. Okay, so it's a multi-generational pursuit, and it takes a lot of work, a lot of learning, and it takes the resources. If you're a middle class type person like we are, it takes a lot of saving and a lot of doing without. It just doesn't happen magically. It's hard work for generations, literally. So our farm is the result of my grandparents on both sides, my parents, us, Mrs. Finelli and me, and our children. That's what it took, and that's what it takes. So I literally have the tools that my grandfathers on both sides had, hammers, wrenches, all those tools, all those hand tools, saws. I have them all because no one else wanted them. So I have the tools, and they saved, and that savings was passed on to all of us. Rachel, I really appreciate you calling in. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ben.
We're going to try to have another expo. I just don't know where, but it won't be on a city. It won't be on a city property. John Regan, I'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Youngevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call? And how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Hey, John Regan, didn't that call warm your heart? Learning that we touched Rachel and her family so deeply that she learned so much, and she's actively preparing for whatever may come our way. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's why I'm on the air.
Yeah. Last night at the meetup, we were talking about how many of us are there? How many of us are actually paying attention? And this is not just at USA Prepares, but how many people are paying attention to these alleged representatives in our towns and cities and counties and hamlets and states and the federal government? How many are actually paying attention? I thought it was 3%. I don't think so. I think it's 1%. And of the 1%, not everybody's really, really, really active. I look at John and Judy Dollarheight, who are, instructors. They are going to meetings and they are paying attention and they are trying to turn the ship around in their county. And they are. But you know what? It takes a lot of time. And how many people are willing to go to meetings day and night? I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then during the day and in the evenings. How many people are willing to do that to make sure that these thugs aren't stealing from us at every turn? There are very, very few of us. And it takes a lot of time. It takes time away from the family, and it can cause a heart attack. It literally can. The stress of dealing with corruption is horrible. Dealing with liars and cheats and thieves. And I'm talking about people in government. And I'm not exaggerating. They're horrible. They've got these little dominions. They've got these little profit centers that they've built. And they funnel business to their brother-in-law, their brother, their sister. And it's incestuous. And when you start uncovering this, it's horrible. It's horrible to find it. And so if you're wondering why your taxes are high, that's why. And John, we've never talked about this, but let's just talk about it right now. I believe that there's a correlation between corruption and sales tax rate. Corruption and sales tax rate. I believe there's a correlation. The higher the sales tax rate, the more corruption. Now, in Missouri, according to Joel Skousen in his book, Missouri is one of the most corrupt of all states. And I see it. And we have a high sales tax. What do you think? New York has one. Chicago has one. What do you think? Do you think there's a correlation?
It's hard to say. Texas has a pretty high sales tax rate, 8.25% here in the Metroplex. But at the same time, we don't have income taxes. Mm-hmm. And we don't have the personal property taxes. We do pay property tax for real estate. But where other states have to pay a tax every year on your car and boat, they don't do that here in Texas. So they make that up with the sales tax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, Texas has had some pretty corrupt politicians in the past, too. LBJ is one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. LBJ. There's a story about LBJ, and if someone came into the Oval Office and he didn't want to meet with that person, he would go sit on the toilet. And he'd leave the door open. He'd say, okay, let's talk about it. And the person coming in would say, Mr. President, can we talk about this another time? That's one of the ways that he dealt with people he didn't want to talk or meet with or talk to or with. But here in Missouri, we have personal property tax. We have real estate tax. We have sales tax. We have sales tax in the county. And in the state, it's combined, and it's just under 8% in many locations. And then the Republicans, not to be outdone by the Democrat Party, want to have E911, have our own building. And so they raise sales tax again. I can't believe it. How's this happened? And the Republicans pat themselves on the back saying, isn't that great? How naive can we be? pretty naive. John Regan, I'll be right back, and we're going to talk about the financial state of the union spy tech. Right after top of the hour news and commercial announcements. I'm Vin Finelli.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs believes virtually all disease states can be backtracked to digestive problems.
Deficiencies in stomach acid can affect all downstream systems. Taking digestive enzymes can be amazingly helpful for dealing with deficiencies in stomach acid. Enzymes require low pH for activation. You can also use aloe vera juice, by the way. Sugars in aloe vera have a coating effect on the digestive system. Longevity has a cool product called Noni Plus, which is made from aloe and the noni fruit. It's tasty. It can also function to support digestive acidification of the stomach, and activation of digestive enzymes.
Take pharmacist Ben's advice and support your digestive system by ordering Noni Plus from Longevity. Call 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470, or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Hour number 2 of USA Prepares with Captain John Regan, the Financial State of the Union.com. The Financial State of the Union.com. I've clicked on the news tab. John Regan, where would you like to go?
Well, I was thinking there's an expo story I haven't had a chance to share with you yet.
Okay.
Across the aisle from me, there was a young woman set up with doing chair massages like all day long, both days. I tell you, I'd really hate to do arm wrestling with her. It's like nonstop. And she was so pleasant, the whole day. So I go over and chat with her because I have a compressed disc, and I was hopeful that I'd be able to start getting some spinal decompression done soon. That's what's helped my back in the past. I haven't been able to get a treatment in about 5 years now. And she told me about this device, and she brought it in on Sunday, that is something that you can do spinal decompression at home. So I took the information and came back here, and I finally had a chance to go look it up on the internet. And it's funny what a small world it is. Get down to the bottom of the page, and I see there's an endorsement by C. Norman Shealy.
Yeah.
So, and like Dr. Shealy will say, nothing works for everybody, But I tell you one thing, the fact that he endorses this product tells me I'm not just buying a piece of junk that I hope works.
Mm-hmm. You know, Norm Shealy lives a very simple life. He really does. But he's a great experimenter. And if you go into his, I'm trying to think what you'd call it, clinic, if you will. He has a chapel that would hold, I don't know, 300 or 400 people, maybe 500 people. And he has examination rooms, and he has his experimentation rooms, and he has triangles, and he has electrical devices, and he really wants to see it for himself. He's like he's from Missouri, even though he's from Wisconsin. He wants to prove it. He wants to see the results, and he wants to make sure he understands how it works. And that's Norm Shealy. He's a brilliant medical doctor, a PhD. I think he's written, 32 books now. 31 for sure, probably 32. So he's known in lots of places. He really is, and he gives presentations and seminars and talks all over the world. So that's Dr. Norman Shealy, and we are so fortunate to have him with us. He'll be with us tomorrow for 2 hours. So if you have any medical questions, make sure you give us a call, and he'll answer them. By the way, have you ever seen him on the air when he's in Springfield?
No, I haven't.
Let me tell you how that works. He will sit down in the studio. He and I broadcasted from the same studio when I first got started in radio. And the lights are off in the studio. And then like a minute before he goes on the air, turns the lights on. And during the time before that, he's been meditating. He's been meditating very quietly all by himself in the studio, lights off. And lights go on. 1 minute later, he's on the air, and he has a legal pad. And his legal pad has 31 numbers, 1 through 31 on each line. And then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last numbers, 31. And then he puts hash marks on this for each line. So number 1 would be the first day of the month. Number 5 would be the 5th day of the month. And he puts a hash mark for each call he takes. And he takes like 25 calls in an hour. It's almost a record. And he starts out and he says, I'm on the air. I'm Dr. Norman Shealy, and you can be too. Sarah, what's your question? I mean, it's like that. The calls are stacked in line waiting for him the second he goes on the air. And that's radio with Dr. Norman Shealy in Springfield, Missouri. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And the reason I take Bliss is he saw that I was on the air after him. So he was on from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Thursdays. And I was on Monday through Friday, right after his show, from 3 to 4. And he saw that when I first started broadcasting, my knees were knocking, and I was, anxious, if you will. And so he gave me some Bliss, and he said, here, put this on, and the rest is history. So that's Norm Shealy.
Well, we'll see how well your Bliss is still working.
Oh,
Up next on Spy Tech, we got a link called Always On. And last week we talked about these low-powered chips that could run for a long time on a single battery charge, or even use body heat to power themselves. Well, this is one of those new low-powered chips, probably not quite as efficient as what we talked about, that it's designed for mobile devices, and it always listens. And this chip is set to come out mid this year, which means just a couple of months from now. And it says that the manufacturer of this, which audience, doesn't provide the function it enables. That's up to the OEMs, the equipment manufacturers, to do that. And if you look at the article, you don't really get a sense for the size of the chip. I did some search on their site, and they've got an image that shows the lower corner of a smartphone, and you know how they've got those buttons that are probably about 3/4 of an inch long that you would press for the home screen at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you could fit at least 5 of these chips on that button. That's how small they are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, John, if you think about it, when we use a microphone, it's traditionally a microphone in a housing. So the housing is not the microphone. The microphone's within the housing. And then there's a cable or cord that carries the electrical signal to, let's say, a preamplifier. So the microphone traditionally is not part of the electronics. Okay, it's separate and on a cord, distant from the electronics. What you're talking about is taking a microphone and putting it right there with the electronics, right there. So there's no cord. And if you look at, most cell phones of many years ago, a few years ago, there was a little wire or 2 wires that would connect the microphone itself to the circuit board, or it would be a surface mounted device where the microphone was mounted on the circuit board. Now we're talking about connecting the two, right? As one.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And so what you now have is you have better fidelity, less possibility or lower possibility of distortion. So clarity, fidelity, efficiency, less loss in the cabling system. And now we've got the ability to really monitor better. So this is good technology that's going to be used for a bad purpose. As most technology.
And while the discussion is putting this into mobile devices, it doesn't take that much of a jump to think Internet of Things, where practically any device could have this chip in it.
Right. And that, to me, that is absolutely frightening. And, some people will say, well, cell phones, they can listen to me. I'm not saying anything that, I care about. What happens if you have that cell phone in the kitchen and your 13-year-old child comes in and has an argument with her male friend from school? And she says, I hate him, I wish he would die. And that's been recorded. Saved forever. Could that ever be used against a person? Obviously, it can. And I was at a restaurant. I don't go out to eat very much. But I was at a restaurant, and I was looking around. Came back from a long trip with our son the day we bought the rototiller. And so we grabbed a bite to eat, and I looked around. Almost every single table, there was a cell phone on the table. And at most of those tables, there was someone looking down at the cell phone or holding the cell phone in his or her hand. So people are going out to eat, and they've got the cell phones in their hands on the table in almost, I would say, at least 60% of the tables at this restaurant. People had their cell phones, and they were concerned about messages, texting while they were eating. How did we get to this point? How did we get to the point where we're not paying attention to the people who are with us at the table? We're paying more attention to those who are not there.
Well, sometimes they're texting people at the table.
Yeah. And there's that picture of that convertible car with the aerial shot down on a convertible car with 4 young people in it, and everybody except the driver's on a cell phone. Yeah. John Regan, we have Blue from Tennessee. Welcome, Blue.
Hi, gentlemen. My son is graduating from high school. Okay? And so we did not realize that there was extra grant, that they had created a grant in the state of Tennessee for post-secondary education. And it has to be at either a technical college or a community college, but they will pay for school for the children in the state of Tennessee. And we are racking our brains on what would be the best choice for him to go into, knowing that we know what we know.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Blue, hold that thought. We're going into a commercial break. We'll be back out of the commercial break in just a couple minutes, and let's talk about that. So I'm going to put you on hold and stay with us, okay? How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Gold is on Earth. From the Romans through the Renaissance, from the Industrial Age to the Space Age, gold has weathered the test of time. For 6,000 years, gold has remained the ultimate store of wealth. According to the World Gold Council and the U.S. Mint, demand is at an all-time high. The stage is being set for the reemergence of gold as the common-sense alternative to a fiat paper currency that gets weaker every day. Midas Resources is proud to offer the hard-hitting report that arms you with the truth you need to protect you and your family from the Fed's plans for your hard-earned money. Don't gamble with your future. Call Midas Resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold. Call 1-800-686-2237 for the report the Fed hopes you'll never see. As Good as Gold can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. If you have ever thought about owning gold, you must read this report. Call Midas today at 800-686-2237.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Captain John Regan's with us, and Blue from Tennessee is with us. And Blue, your question was, you have a son who wants to know what he should study, knowing the things that we know about our future and the direction the country is headed. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. John Regan, would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll throw out a couple.
Okay.
One that's probably more obvious is study along the lines of agriculture and animal husbandry, because there will be some useful skills taught in there, although you may have to adjust them for being able to do things without a working supply chain. But another one that might not be so obvious would be chemistry. Right now, we have products that we buy every day, whether it's, industrial chemistry or food chemistry. Those things go away, and we have to learn how to do those things on our own. So having a good chemical background could be useful too. Vincent?
Wow. How do how do I follow that? The only thing I can say that to what John Regan just said, Captain John Regan, is that is exactly the advice that I've given our son, who is in college today. He's in his third year, and this particular university has a student work program where the students work under 20 hours per week, and they study, and it is absolutely grueling. They have probably the highest failure rate of students in the country. I mean, the students just can't take it. It is literally grueling, and there are a lot of rules. And what he is studying is exactly what John Regan just said. He is studying animal husbandry, agriculture, and he's pursuing chemistry and physics. And for precisely the same reasons. You need to know how chemicals are made. You need to know how to make your own fertilizer. You need to know how, for business going forward, you need to know chemistry. And you need to know business. You need to know a little bit about economics. I think that everyone should study economics. You need to know some math. You need to know history as well, because if you don't know history, you won't know the future, because most things just keep repeating themselves over and over again. So in his endeavors, he is studying chemistry, agriculture, animal husbandry, physics, psychology. He's taking Spanish, so he'll be able to speak the language of the United States going forward. And he's also in this work program, if you will, where the students actually do something to maintain the university. But he's in new construction. So he's building buildings, dormitories, and it's hard work. He's working with concrete. He's pouring concrete. He's tying rebar. He's plumbing. He's tiling, ceramic tile. He's on the roof. He's using heavy equipment. He's using these lifts that will put a person, 40 feet in the air, those kinds of things. That's what he's doing. So, Blue, to answer your question, I think he needs to, follow.
Can I give you my line of thought?
Sure.
And you just kind of direct me. The agriculture, we have that. In fact, my father is actually working on developing a new way to grow. So that is something that is a long term, and we understand that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the chemistry, he wants to be a chemical engineer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it from a practical, tactical sense. Right now, let me get you a hands-on position, get you the skill set that you need, that you can make the money to go back to school so you won't be in debt. And right now, you have this God-given gift of they will pay for your school. So what I'm looking at right now is machine tool technology. And the reason I've looked into this is because they teach CAD. If you can learn CAD, you can work with 3D printers. And to me, that is the Star Trek replicator.
Blue, will come back and we'll address your questions, John, and your thoughts. You're talking about taking the high-tech approach. And John and I were talking about the low-tech approach. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins, but did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your product and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. bidbit.co.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Captain John Regan's with us, and Blue from Tennessee called in, and she had a question. Her son is of college age, and she's asking what our thoughts are for his career path. And John Regan and I both independently came up with the same thoughts: agriculture, chemistry, animal husbandry, and that's because we're thinking about what could happen in the future, and grid down situation, supply chain situation, businesses failing, those kinds of things. John Regan, your thoughts?
Well, I look at one side. I have an undergraduate degree in computer science, an MBA in information systems, and a Master of Science in finance. And those degrees are entirely worthless for me getting an income, and they don't mean very much in the world that we're getting ready to see. So that's kind of cautionary there. However, in her analysis, yes, this 3D printing is going to be a game changer in the world. A lot of manufacturing, especially of small parts, are going to be moved closer to where they're needed rather than centrally produced and transported. Larger parts are going to be more problematic because you need big printers and special materials. But going forward, part of it depends on what you believe the future is going to hold and how quickly things are going to change. And what I'm seeing financially is, a pretty big change in a short amount of time, and especially if that leads to war, which is pretty common in the lessons of history. I'm not sure that he'd be able to use those skills, and the skills of, if you already got skills in raising food, then learning agriculture and animal husbandry might not be as big a deal. But if you don't have those skills, to me, eating's a whole lot more important than printing.
Absolutely right. And I think that as I see companies go out of business at a record rate, and all kinds of companies. I mean, there's a company in Springfield, Missouri that used to make transformers, General Electric. They sold to a company named Regal. Regal's going out of business, So if you're in the electrical engineering arena, and if you worked at General Electric, well, they didn't need you anymore, and Regal certainly doesn't need you anymore because they're shutting down. So I'm going for the opposite direction. I'm going from high tech, where I was, into low tech. John in Texas, you're on with Captain John Regan and me, Vincent. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air. John in Texas, you're on the air. John in Texas, are you there?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
I'm here.
you're on the air with John Regan and me. Welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Here's something that I wanted to throw out for Blue and you gentlemen. In my misspent youth, and I've been to regular university, trade school, junior college, made the rounds, if you will. One of the best educations I got was in commercial diving school. And I became a commercial diver. I went in when I was 18. I went to Florida Institute of Technology in Jensen Beach, Florida. We were trained in diesel engines, electrical, photography, welding, first aid up to EMT, knot tying, carpentry, all types of practical, hands-on skills. Okay? That any one of those, becoming a marine diesel repairman, becoming a welder, becoming a rigger, are all viable trades. Now, what I did was once I got hired out after my first year, and I went to work in the North Sea as a commercial diver. I even picked up more skills. I made enough money to pay for college, flat out, no loans, no anything. And I took a degree in economics. And I'll be honest with you, gentlemen, I have made more money based on my commercial diving skills and training than I have with a degree in economics. Because I've been able to fall into jobs and do different jobs, you know, as needed and during down times in my life. Also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, John, what you're saying is that your hands-on skills, your ability to work with your hands and your mind, rather than work with a keyboard and financial manipulations, has proven better for you. And John Regan and I are saying the same thing. And we didn't say diving, but that sounds like a wonderful way to go, because you have to know so many things. You have to know a little bit about biology. You have to know a little bit about chemistry. You have to know a little bit about physics. Okay. And you have to be, healthy. So you can't let your body fall apart and do that. So I think you and John Regan and I are all on the same page where we're going away from high technology, away from the electrons, moving through CPUs and processors and memory and, those integrated circuits. We're moving away from that in our thoughts because we think that the power grid may go down. And if that's the case, we've got to go, away from that high technology. So are you saying the same thing, John, in Texas?
Pretty much. But let me add this to it. Like one of the growing, like you talk about food, well, aquaculture, one of the diving schools I went to for advanced diving training was in Fort William, Scotland. And then in the loch right now, they have salmon farms. And they raise salmon. And the water is just pristine. And it's one of the reasons why they do it there. And believe it or not, it was actually owned by Ian Anderson, Jethro Tull, two rock and rollers, actually owned a bit of this. It was quite interesting. But anyway, they hired divers out there from the school. They learned about aquaculture and things like this. So that's another area. Plus, also, you talked about war coming. Well, if you have a lot of experience in fixing engines and doing things, you can stay in the rear and with the gear as opposed to being your tush in the bush. If you so desire, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and also if you know how engines work, and if you know diesel mechanics and gasoline mechanics and reciprocating motion engines, you can pick up the pieces in the rear, if you will, the leftover or the non-functioning equipment, and make use of it later.
Sure.
Things that others have discarded because they can't fix it. And John, in Texas, if you look at young people today,
they can't do jack.
And if you say to them, how often do you change the oil in your car? I think they're going to say Jiffy Lube, or the Chinese factory outlet, or one of those fast, or if they remember, right? Or if they know they're supposed to change the oil or check the oil. They don't know how to do those things that those of us who are 50 and 60 years and older know how to do, because we used to experiment and we used to learn about mechanics, but we've gotten away from that. So if you take that iPhone away from people and there's not an app for that, they're going to have a lot of trouble doing it. So I think that John Regan and you and I are all saying the same thing. John Regan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of that. I'm glad you called in and enlightened us.
Well, not many people think about that direction. My commercial diving career, what I learned, plus some of the side benefits, was I traveled the world. I've been to Africa, I've been to India, I've been to Europe, Gulf of Mexico, the Great Lakes. I've traveled around. learn how to handle yourself. I've been in some of the roughest seaports in the world. And one of the other things too was, even when I was going to dive school, I used to make $1,800 a week, roughly, cleaning boat holes and doing minor repairs on all the big yachts coming down the inland waterway from up east, going down to Florida and Miami, in the Bahamas, for their winter vacations. And I met the heads of major corporations and business and stuff like that, and handed a lot of business cards. And you're a fine young man. If you ever need a job or want to look at something, please come see me. I mean, it can open up a whole world. It all depends on how open you want to be. But the big bottom line was, I learned a little bit about a lot of different things that have kept me in good stead. And it was all done in one coursework, in the space of 8 half semesters. So,
So here's what I hear you saying, John, in Texas, that by demonstrating, and although you didn't use these words, but by demonstrating honesty and integrity and hard work, being deliberate, working on these expensive yachts, the owners, the captains of industry saw you and thought, what a good guy. I'd kind of like to have someone like that on my team. And they welcomed you, should you desire to do that. So you networked. Now, John, would you give our engineer your phone number? I'd like to call you after the broadcast, and I'd like to talk to you about being on the air as an instructor at usaprepares.com. Would you consider doing that?
Sure, yeah. Thank you. Wow.
Okay. Trevor will take your... How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide?
He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about health care. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at goberkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
You know, I got an email from one of our class. I'm going to withhold his name, but he says that there's a rumor that Fort Leonard Wood, 50 miles north of Lebanon, Missouri, is getting ready to close. If that's the case, about 50,000 paychecks will be affected. And he also suggested that I put a picture of the big black truck, you know, the one, the fire engine that's black, looks like a SWAT truck that's owned by the city of Lebanon, the one that came with lights and sirens and horns to the Get Prepared Expo, scared people, that I put that on the website, and I will do that. That'll probably be up tomorrow, so you get a chance to see what we're talking about. You know, we said that the fire department was there. Yeah, they were. And the police department was at the expo, and they did their best to disrupt us. And I believe all of it was at the orders of the city manager. That's my belief. And we're gonna talk about that in the next couple of weeks as we learn more and more. But we're not the only one interested. The community of the city of Lebanon and the surrounding area is very interested. There are a lot of mistruths being spoken about us, that we're not a very good organization, that we're not prepared. It's all lies. It's all lies, and it's coming from the government. They're saying that we don't manage very well. We're unprepared. We're hard to work with. Absolutely not true. Because if you ask the people who work with us, they'll say that we're among the best, if not the best, to work with, because we are prepared. And we want to make the efforts of those who work for the city as easy as possible. We want to work with them and help them so they don't have to do hard work when we can do it easily. That's what we do. And we are being touted as the exact opposite. And I resent it. Captain John Regan, so we were just talking about what do we do going forward? How do we advise our children in school? What do we tell them that they should consider? Because they look up to us. They look up to their parents. They look up to, those of us who are older for guidance. And in our case, I advised our son to learn things that are lower in technology rather than higher in technology. The higher in technology you go, the farther away you are getting from life and we the people. And as I see things spiraling down, and it's clear to me that they are, I want to be closer towards survival rather than farther away from it. Your thoughts?
And I didn't post it, but I read an article recently that was actually from here in Dallas, where the school is getting support from the neighbors about, raising a garden. And if you can get a school to participate, and there's a lot of these happening around the country, where the students, plant a garden, they tend it, and that they get the learning from that, and then they also get the reward of eating what they've put their time into. Those types of skills would be so helpful. And I guess all I can say is Google it and see if there's a program that your school would be interested in getting into.
Our son wanted to try the public training camp for high school. And, we worked with one of the teachers, and one of the teachers wanted to teach auto mechanics after school. And there were a few students who were interested in that. And what they did was they bought a race car. They bought an old, Japanese car. And they modified the suspension. They did some really, really clever modifications to this car. And the teacher raced it, and the students worked on it. They rebuilt the transmission, worked on the engine, worked on the suspension, way out of the box thinking. Those are the kinds of teachers that we need to encourage young people to learn and grow. And they're rare. They really are rare. So as far as I'm concerned, getting closer to life is where I'm going to advise our children, the opposite of high tech. John Regan, thanks so much for being with us. I really enjoy being on the air with you. You bring so much information, and above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.
I tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.